Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, good early morning to you folks. I've been up since like 1 o'clock, 1:30. I haven't been able to go back to sleep. I'm like, okay, let's just do the face, get some coffee. I've already done my morning research. I'm sitting here looking at a wall. Said maybe I should just come live. It's better than being alone. Good morning, Anissa and Miss Robin. It's crazy because if I would have known you guys were up, I probably wouldn't even came live. I'd have been chatting with you guys on the chat. Did I post? I think the stream is this. Hold on, let me go over here and check. I did. So the StreamYard link is post. This is not. We don't really have a whole lot. I'm in bed. I don't even have the second screen put up. So if we have to watch something, you'll have to bear with me because I'm not used to working on one screen. Oh, Johnny B. What's shaking bacon?
Hey, what's happening?
Late night for me. Well,
Yeah,
early
me
morning.
too.
Way early
Morning. Early morning. It's like 2 something here.
Is it? What time is it? It's 3:36, so you're an hour behind me.
Yeah. Early riser, drinking that coffee.
I'm telling you, it's that I drink this crap all day long. It doesn't even do anything for me anymore. Well, it's nice to finally meet you. So you're new to YouTube, already getting all the hate. You gotta love it.
Yeah, new to YouTube, making those subscribers is crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
a
crazy.
different world.
Yeah. So how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. I've got all my work done. Like, I don't know. I probably by 2:00 I'll be twiddling my thumbs, wondering what the heck to do.
I know. I need to go to bed. That's what I need to do.
I already went to bed. I went to bed last night at like 7:00.
Oh, really? Look at you.
I woke up this morning and I'm like, I'm wide awake. There's no going back from this.
Yeah.
So
what's the subject today?
Well, today I think we're going to talk about, I just dropped him, or he just accidentally got off. Well, if you want to come back up, I'll pull you back up. Subject of today, well, later today at the coffee club, we'll probably be talking about, I don't know, Jalissa, updates. I got a lot of stuff here. I mean, a lot of stuff because I've been so focused on, there we are. He's back.
Did I lose you?
Yeah, you did. I was I sipped a coffee, looked up, I'm like, oh, he's gone.
Oh my God.
So the subject today is just some updates on Jalissa and Kylie, but I've got so many other things that I've been, covering that I haven't updated them on, like Alex Murdaugh. Have you heard about that case, Alec Murdaugh?
I haven't heard about that one.
It's this South Carolina guy. He was an attorney, but his family is a legacy.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, being charged with the murder of his son and wife, and just whatever, they were estranged or whatnot. And it's just this case is just, it's got all the twists and turns and the bells and whistles of everything that kind of keeps us hooked in this. They got the family legacy, the power, the prestige. And it's just like this one family member took, over 100 years of prestige and legacy away from this entire family over this. It's insane.
So what's the status on that case? I mean, didn't he get convicted?
No, he's not. He's going to trial. They're fighting right now. They're trying to keep, because there's a civil suit against him because his son drove a boat drunk and killed a young gal, and so there's a civil suit against the father because he was responsible for his underage kid.
So explain the case to me and people who don't even know the case. Okay, so this guy's a lawyer and he kills his wife.
Well, hold on. No, let me go back. If you want me to explain it, it goes back further than that. So
because there's probably a lot of people who aren't like.
Yeah. So Alex Murdaugh is a well-known. His family's well-known in this particular county. I think it's like Hampton County, South Carolina. I could be wrong. And his son. They kind of came under the gun because his son was in a boating accident. He went out. He took his dad's boat out. Went out and got like wasted. He had his older brother's driver's license and drove the boat and killed a girl. There were 6 of them on there. One of them didn't make it. And that opened his father's books up. So there's a civil suit going on with his son. Well, now they're looking into his books. He's got all this embezzlement, all this defrauding, scheming stuff that they're finding. Then they start looking in his past, and his his housekeeper that was with him for 20 years slipped and fell and died. Now they don't believe that. He embezzled all the money from her family.
Oh my God.
Then he decides that, while this court case is going on, his wife and son get murdered. They just now pin that on him. So he's got like 80 indictments for this fraud, scheme, embezzlement stuff. He's got the double homicide of his wife and son. Then he tried to commit suicide by hiring a hitman to shoot him in the head. And this is crazy. I mean, seriously, you wouldn't think that this was real life. It's real life. And so there was a passerby that called it in and said, this guy's begging for help, but it feels like a setup. And so he actually tried to set up to kill himself because he didn't want to have to face his son and daughter, or his wife and son's case. It's just crazy. Everything from financial scheming to murder to hitman. Just it's crazy.
So how does a person do this? I mean, with a conscience, I mean, how do you kill your family?
Yeah, he had substance abuse problems. Apparently, he took a turn for the worst.
Oh my God, man! So what is he facing as far as his sentencing goes?
Well, with a capital crime, I think South Carolina. I'm pretty sure they're a death penalty state. So I mean, at minimum, or at maximum, he's looking at death. I think at minimum, he's looking at life in prison without possibility of parole. And that's just for the murder charges. I mean, he's probably going to, believe it or not, it's sad to say, he's probably going to get more time for the financial crimes.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I don't know, but that's typically how it works.
That's insane. That's insane. Yeah, I've seen him on national news.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the case is intriguing to me.
Yeah. What's so intriguing about it to you, though? I mean, like, what are you gonna be able to?
I think the intriguing part of this whole case is he had the life that only many of us just dream of having. And from the outside looking in, it looks like that perfect life, but underneath the surface, it's this dysfunctional. It's like dysfunction junction, and and then I don't know, just. The killing of the spouse, like, I'll never understand that. Like, if you don't like them, just walk away. But I kind of understand the spouse as opposed to the child, like your own kid. That's just some kind of, I don't know. I don't know what human could be capable of taking out their own child. I don't know. It happens every day, though.
You remember Chris Watts?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's another one of those cases where he took his wife and kids out just because he wanted to be with another woman. I mean, yeah, there are people like that in the world. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then there's the opposite of it, the family massacre people, like Anthony Todd. That was a crazy case. That happened right in Orlando, not too far from me. I went to his house.
Are you in Florida? Are you in Florida?
Yeah.
Oh, you're so lucky.
I've been here my whole life. I've literally been in this town. Like, our family has been in this town for generations.
You're so lucky.
But you know what? Every time I try to run away, I keep thinking, well, everything's here.
Yeah. I mean, Texas is awesome. But I live in the desert part of Texas, so it's not so awesome. But I was raised in Northeast Texas, where they have woods and lakes and stuff like that. And then I came out here to do radio, and it's just like a desert out here. It's a desert. I went to Florida back in March. I was in Orlando, and oh my God, man, I would love to live in Florida. Florida is a place to be.
It's pretty here, but what's so funny is, like, for me, and I know it. I know exactly what it is. It's like, for me, I take it for granted because I've been around here for so long. Like, I want to be in the mountains. I want to be in the snow, but I want to be in the snow until I actually have to shovel the snow, and then I'll probably be wanting to come back to Florida.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Florida is beautiful, though. It rains like every day there, though, doesn't it?
It is. It was raining yesterday. It was my mom's birthday. Yesterday was another day like today. I was up at like 3 a.m. And so by the time I ate with my mom, I'm like, I'm ready for bed.
So what do you think about the Kylie Rodney thing? I mean, that's kind of crazy, right?
It is crazy, but I think people's imaginations got away from them on this case. And I think they forgot we were dealing with teenagers, very impressionable teenagers that are dealing with stuff that they've never dealt with in their life. And, did mistakes happen? Oh, without a doubt, a lot of mistakes happen. At this point, I don't know. I'm just not really ready to say that, somebody was capable. I have people on here saying, I know it was Sammy that drove that car into the water. And I just, my main question is, why does everybody think Sammy is capable of this, but not Kylie? I mean, unfortunately, this type of stuff happens all the time.
Well, I mean, you made a good point on one of your previous shows that there were a lot of drugs right there at the party,
Yeah.
and she was obviously doing some of that stuff.
Yeah,
And
you would think so. And, I'm still curious about the toxicology reports, but in her condition, it did not, you know what? If you don't know anything about my story, as I come from a lot of,
I do. I've heard some things about your story.
yeah, a lot of
You,
alcohol.
you were definitely a wild one for
Yes.
sure.
And so it's like, I've been there, I've been at those parties. I was Kylie at one point at those parties, and Sammy as well, at the end of the day. And, I've done some stupid stuff by the, thanks to the Lord above, I'm still here. I don't know why. I probably shouldn't be, but I am.
So, I mean, it's obviously very possible that she was so inebriated or under the influence that she drove off the road. And
yeah, and it's so dark out there. And because we don't know a lot. I mean, there's so many possibilities with this. There is possibility of nefarious means. I mean, without a doubt, a lot of kids being out there.
that's true.
Somebody wanted to joyride or what, and it went wrong. I mean, we don't know really what happened. So I think that's what I don't think people's concerns are displaced because we don't know what happened. All we know right now is that a young girl was in water and she's drowned. I mean, and she was inside a car. That's really all we know.
I guess about 30 minutes ago, I got off the phone with a private investigator who is working for Don and Candace Wells. Have you been keeping up with that case pretty good?
Oh yeah, I've made multiple trips out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the investigators, because I keep wanting to know who Candace was referring to as the uppers. And I keep wondering if it was them because, there's a phone missing.
I just got off the phone with Chris Coball. He's the actual private investigator that Don and Candace hired. Did you know they hired a private investigator?
I think they did. They did it semi pro bono. Like it was they had to come up with a little bit of money, but they still had did some stuff pro bono. And I think they just recently stated that if they wanted them to continue, they have to start ponying up some money.
No, he didn't say that, but yeah, that may be the case. But yeah, I mean, they've been on the case since July of 2021, and I was just talking to him and his wife on my channel, and I just can't believe that they would hire this guy, because this guy, as I was talking to him, Betty, I mean, here's the thing. This guy is going to turn them in. Mm-hmm. They hired the wrong guy.
Right.
He's not one of those. My first impression was if Don and Candace hire a private investigator, hire a crooked one,
Mm-hmm.
This guy's not crooked. From what my understanding is, and just talking to him and his wife off of the channel, just behind the scenes. I mean, they are very serious about they are very serious about finding Summer. Mm-hmm. But I'm just seeing this case go cold. Is that what you're seeing?
I am, and it's upsetting me because again. It was me. It was several people. We took a crew. We collaborated with several different creators and went down there and just did a fact-finding mission. We looked into the property, went to the records office. We pulled up all the incident cards for everything that happened on that hill, for as long back as we could pull. We just did a lot of stuff with that case. And I'm telling you, when we first got there, surprised that the parents have not been arrested for something in this case, especially the crimes against the children.
Right.
But when I first met them, or not met them, but heard of them, and I heard that they were taking drones and stuff out there to look for Summer Wells, and they were bringing specialized drones that can see disturbed ground. I realized that that even his own private investigators weren't looking for, a possible child that just wandered off. They were looking for something that was more in line with something being underground.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a disturbing case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I really do believe the parent. Well, for a really long time, we were told that Don Wells was at work at the time, and he just kept making so many mistakes about, like, when we last saw her, we related to that day that he supposedly wasn't supposed to be there. And it's so apparent that he made those mistakes so many times that it makes you question, was he there, was he not there? And we did have corroboration that he did go to work at some point that morning, but there's nobody stating what time he left work, what time he was home. And I've never been able to say that, determine that, but I can tell you it appeared that he was home much earlier than he alleges.
So when you were out there, what was the take on, like, the social climate of what you experienced?
I can tell you that a lot of the people that were by Don and Candace's side when this story first broke, they have no contact, nothing to do with the family. When we were out there, first, when we started talking to people about going out there, we were told, don't come out here. We don't want your kind here, blah, 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 blah. But when we were out there on Beach Creek Road and they saw us surveilling the area and taking photos, neighbors were pulling up to us, telling us all about the business that goes on up there and about how, the hollers, the sound travels through the hollers. And people on the other side of the mountain could be hearing the arguments that are going on at Don and Candace's house and all the F-bombs and constant partying and drinking and fighting. And it's just nonstop there. And that's what the neighbors told us. And
so what about the geography there? I just recently heard from another private investigator that I talked to yesterday that he works with, because he's a private investigator, but he also has another job, and he works with one of the neighbors who says that he would pull up and see the boys and see Summer playing on the roadway.
Yeah, no.
There's more than there's not just a main road. There's another road that intersects. Correct?
Yeah. So you have Ben Hill, which is kind of a private road. I shouldn't say private. It's a public road, but it just has a few houses on Ben Hill. You drive that back, and they have their land and stuff. But the main drag is Beach Creek Road. Ben Hill Road is the road that Summer lives on, and you got to go out their driveway, and then you go up to the main road, which is the intersection. So Beach Creek and Ben Hill intersect.
I'm just kind of curious what road they're talking about that the kids were playing on. Was that the main road, that 2-lane road?
No, I don't think it'd be the main road because the cars drive way too fast on that main road for children to be playing in that road. Beach Creek Road, people drive really slow because you can't see around the bends as you turn. And there literally is room for 2 vehicles. And their mirrors come this close when they pass. I mean, that's all there is on Beach Creek.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but the geography of it, like as soon as I first saw it and saw how elevated their property is as opposed to the majority of the property around there, and seeing all the foliage, I just looked at it, and it's almost like a creek that's like a moat around their entire property that drops down about 2 to 4 feet in certain areas. So it's like, even though the creek's not deep, it's still a heck of a drop to have to try to go down with a screaming, kicking child, and climb back up. And it just didn't make sense. As soon as I saw that property, I mean, it that there was no abduction. There couldn't have been.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you think about Adventures with Purpose? They found Kylie after the fact that the police had searched the same area. Is that correct?
Yeah. They didn't. The police didn't come out specifically and state that they searched that specific area with all the equipment and things of that nature. But you could tell on their face it appeared that they did. And I think it's eye-opening to law enforcement to realize you can have some of the best equipment. And if you don't know how to work that equipment, it's just as good as the operator. If they're not, even if they get trained or they have to do continuous education once a year, if they're not using that equipment and they're not properly putting the settings on, they're not going to get that clear imaging.
So AWP wanted to go out to search for Summer. Isn't their specialty though, like searching for vehicles and things like that?
I think their specialty really is water, searching water. I think their sonar is some of the best sonar equipment. And I think that even if it's an individual at the bottom of I think they'd pick that up too. But I don't think their specialty is necessarily vehicles, so to speak. I mean, that has been because those are, vehicles are easier to find because they're larger. But I think that their equipment, I think their specialty is more underwater searches as opposed to.
Okay. So you're saying they could probably find bodies without being in a vehicle or. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So
what's your lesson on the videos?
Say it again.
I said Don B was on here and he was giving us a lesson in like sonar and the imaging quality and stuff like that. So he was showing us imaging quality, and one of them was a dead person underwater. And you could see it. It almost looked like, those little, remember back those little army men that stood up about this tall,
Yeah.
It almost looked like that at the bottom. He's like, can you tell what this is? I said, it looks like one of those army men. He's like, no, it's a dead person. I'm like, oh, well, sorry.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. So what's your thought on why Hawkins County wouldn't want Adventures with Purpose out there? That's what I was trying to ask the private investigator, but he said I would really have to ask them that. But
so in my opinion, I've noticed this, like even with some of the comments John Pruitt actually said publicly in conversation. See, I've never really dealt with John Pruitt. I always dealt with Cliff Evans. Like even when I
did too. I interviewed him.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. He really is. I mean, for all intents and purposes, he really is a nice guy. But at the end of the day, this is not a nice guy competition, right? We're looking for information about a girl. But with Hawkins County, though, and I have to say, seeing John Pruitt and his commentary, they almost seem like they don't want help. They almost seem like they've got this, or they don't want people stepping on their toes. It's kind of that arrogant, pompous, egotistical mindset that I talk about all the time on this channel, about how there's no place for that in detective work in these types of cases. You can't have an ego. You can't, you have to start utilizing the tools. And I just feel like they are just so overwhelmed. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to do it. They really need to move this case over to state police. They got to get it out of their hands. They're just not, in my opinion, they're just not equipped to handle this type of case. This case is complex. It's, we need somebody with different skill sets on this case, because this is going to have to be put together very creatively. And you've got to have a team that can, because if they want any type of justice, it's going to most likely be a circumstantial case, unless somebody finally breaks and tells us where Summer's at.
So was it you or somebody else I saw who came up with the idea that perhaps Hawkins County doesn't want Adventures with Purpose or other people searching certain areas because maybe they would find something else that they didn't want them to find?
Mm-hmm.
Was that you that said that?
I to be honest with you, I'm unsure because I've said so much about this case, but it doesn't sound like something I did, because for a long time I didn't even realize Adventures with Purpose even offered their services. But it's not surprising to me that Hawkins County turned them down, because again, there's arrogance there, and there's no place for arrogance when you're trying to solve cases.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I mean, it just didn't make sense to me that they wouldn't want them to help.
Right, especially when they have no answers. I mean, it would be different if they had good leads to go off of, good things to do. That's not the case here.
Do you know who Lucas Vance is, or Luke Vance?
No, I have not that.
Okay.
I don't recall that name.
I'm not sure either. I would have to find. I'll research that, but I just was curious if you knew, because the guy Chris Coball, who is the private investigator for Don and Candace, was telling me tonight that they went out there and found this guy within 2 hours. He'd been missing for 50 days, and they found him. And so I didn't know if you knew who that was. I'll have to look that up.
No, but there was a kid. But you know what? There was a kid, and that's what I kept saying. You know, I don't believe this, because they're saying that Summer had no shoes on. So if Summer had no shoes on, first, that eliminates the possibility of those shoes that were found on different properties or whatever. You know, clearly she didn't leave with shoes. Yeah. So I was talking to a neighbor, and apparently they have some kind of plant out there that has thorns on it. And when it pokes you, it has some type of poison that makes you a little lightheaded. And he said for him as an adult, it makes him a little lightheaded, no big deal. But as a child, it may do something, do something more to them, making them sick or more delusional or whatever. But the bottom line is that she had no shoes on. So she would have been found, if she just wandered off, she would have been found very early on, because she had no shoes. That terrain is horrific. I tried to, when I was searching out there in the backwoods, trying to climb them hollers and look and stuff like that, it's insane. That it's rough terrain. It really is.
One of the things that Chris Coball said was that it's a possibility, it's a theory, that she got dragged away by an animal. I mean, do they have wild animals out there? Or?
They do, and I actually spoke to some of the neighbors about that theory, because I thought it was odd that they interjected that theory in like almost a year later. I mean, it was literally coming up to a year when the first time I heard this possibility of an animal attack. But I happened to be out there because I helped set up the Summer Wells Vigil out there at Hawkins County Sheriff's Department. And when I talked to one of the neighbors, they said we have animals around here all the time, but as soon as they smell you, they go the other way. They said short of it being a black bear with cubs, that is really the only thing that would mull you. And he said, but you're talking about a horrific scene. You're talking about a very noisy scene. You're talking a very, very graphic and disturbed scene. It would be very, very noticeable. And none of that was present at the time she disappeared.
Yeah, that was my whole thought too, and I questioned him about that. I mean, if an animal attacks, they're not neat. They're going to be messy, and so you would probably be able to see where that might have taken place. Especially if you have 15 people out there looking for somebody, they're going to see something, I would think. So, where did you get the name Bullhorn? I'm just kind of curious.
I was one of the original protesters in front of Brian Laundrie's house.
Yes, I knew it. I knew that was you.
Yep, that was me, and Jonathan Lee Riches, and Chronicles of Olivia. That's where I met her, and she asked if she could tag along and follow us and record us, and we became like the best of friends, and we've been inseparable since, and we've traveled all over the country covering these cases, and really good stuff. So let me show you if you haven't watched this. Hold on, so stay tuned. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Okay.
Show you some of the stuff that we do.
That would be awesome.
I met Bullhorn Betty and Jonathan Lee Riches. They were protesting in front of the Laundrie's home. I began to document them, and little did I know, the three of us would spend the next few months traveling together. Nothing scares us, even if it means crossing a freezing cold river and getting wet. We put our lives in danger because we want to find answers. It gives us purpose, even if it means going undercover to get those answers, or visiting the scene of a crime and paying our respects. Searching for the truth isn't easy. It gets you out of your comfort zone and makes you see things in a different perspective. And it's this perspective that we want the world to see. At the end of the day, we fight for justice. We fight for those who don't have a voice. We fight for those who were silenced.
So that's just a little bit about what we do. We travel the country. We went to these scenes. We followed, Gabby Petito. Jonathan knew a family member of Gabby Petito's, not the mom, not the dad, not anybody directly, but it was a family member of Gabby Petito. And because we did a lot of political stuff, I was never in true crime. I was a political activist in Manatee, actually in the state of Florida. And he said, there's this family, they reached, the cousin of Gabby reached out to me, and, they're not getting answers. They don't know what happened. Their loved one's missing. I really would like to go out there and get on the Bullhorn, for 5 minutes every hour on the hour, and the rest is history.
Wow, that's amazing that you were there. Did you get to see what was his name? The guy who came out there and knocked on their door, the real famous guy.
Yeah, actually, I'm the one that interviewed Dog the Bounty Hunter. If you watch the TMZ of Dog the Bounty Hunter go knocking on Cassie's door, that's me interviewing him out in front of Cassie.
That was you. Oh my God, you're famous. That's crazy.
For Olivia, I probably wouldn't be, because I was seen by some ungodly amount of people, like 80 million people across the world.
I know. That was you. Amazing. So did you, what are your thoughts on that case? I mean, like, what do you think actually happened?
Yeah, we knew the parents knew something, because we were, their neighbors, like all the neighbors around their house ended up packing up and leaving and renting out their places to the media to camp out there. It was the most insane thing I had ever seen. But one of the neighbors, the Guthries, which were across the street, very, very kind people, they let us set up shop in their front yard, set our stuff there. It was crazy, because I went up there one time, they're like, "Oh, a fan mailed you something. Here, let me go get your package." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, wow.
They were the ones that told us that Chris was out in the front of their yard with Brian cleaning out that van. And we knew that they knew something. We knew that they were, because what family packs up and goes on a camping trip to Fort DeSoto while they're looking for a person that was living in their home? I mean, you have to understand, like, Gabby Petito lived with them in that home, and she's missing, and they're going camping out of Fort DeSoto. To me, that was a goodbye and a farewell, and let's see how we can help you before you have to go, and it was horrible. And I honestly believe that this lawsuit with Gabby's parents and the Laundries, it's just to expose what the Laundries actually did. I really believe that the parents should have been charged with obstruction, tampering with evidence, a multitude of crimes. We didn't just go out there, to harass these parents. We went out there. We went through the neighborhood. We talked to neighbors. We went to stores. We tried to see if there was any camping gear bought from Dick's Sporting Goods and stuff like that.
Man.
We were out there in that Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park searching for Brian. And it was very upsetting that I found out that law enforcement knew the whole time he had a weapon with him. And I'm out there searching unarmed, and I'm a concealed weapons permit holder.
Yeah. Well, we love carrying guns in Texas. I know that. So, do you believe that the cops actually dropped the ball? Remember when that video came out when they got pulled over in the van? Yeah,
we went there. We actually spoke to the Moab Police Department.
And do you think they probably dropped the ball on that? I mean,
I think what it was is that based upon the issue was they didn't get the message. There was a lag in communication, because there were people that called in saying that they saw Brian assaulting Gabby, but when the police pulled them over, they didn't have that information. And the sad part is because they didn't have that information that they should have had, they would have most likely arrested Gabby Petito, and she clearly was not the aggressor. She would have said she was the aggressor. I've dealt with this myself in a domestic violence situation where you kind of take what you got to take so you don't have to deal with the repercussions later.
Right.
And I
Right.
think that they had a hard time arresting Gabby, and I think that's why they let them go. If it was a clear cut, if they thought Brian was the one that was the aggressor, I think things would have been different. But they didn't realize they were hearing Gabby speaking. She was telling him everything, but they weren't listening.
Wow. And then she's dead.
Yeah.
And so did Brian, did he commit suicide or?
It appears that he committed suicide, but it was odd because he's right-handed and apparently he was shot in the left side. But many people think he's still alive. I'm telling, like, I understand autopsies. I understand body confirmation, identity confirmation processes. And when they told me that they had the jaw with intact teeth, that's if he's alive, he's missing a jaw. I mean,
right.
so he's, and we were out there, like the smell, we found where he was at and the smell was horrific.
So did the parents actually lead the police to his location or no?
In less than 15 minutes.
So what does that say to you?
We did a video on it. We believe that they knew where he was. And I was thinking, because the parents had locked themselves in the house for like 5 weeks. We were out front telling them just to cooperate with law enforcement. We'd leave, but they wouldn't. And we believe, hindsight's 2020. And I'm thinking when the parents wouldn't had to go pick up the Mustang from the park, I would think that they would say, let's go find our son. Let's go see if he's here. And he either wasn't dead yet, they either spoke to him or something. Something happened there at the park that we don't know about with him and his parents. But I believe he killed himself either by the time they found that car and they walked out looking for their son, because by this time it had been 2 days. I believe that they saw him out there. I believe that's why they sheltered themselves in the house and just wanted the police to deal with it. I don't know if that's true or not, but I just found it awfully suspect that they knew right where. And it's not even that. It's the 90-degree turn into an area that had no path that Chris went to. That's the problem I have. Why did you turn there? There was literally no path there. How did you know to go through those bushes?
So you're very well educated on all this stuff. What about the like going back in time on cases like John Benet Ramsey?
Yeah, I like him. I actually have a file here with several cases. I'm kind of a true crime junkie, but I like serial killers. So I've actually got some Pee Wee Gaskin that I have not even showed yet. I followed Anthony Tott. Anthony Tott actually wrote me back. Not Anthony Tott. Not Anthony Tott. What was the Robin? Help me. Why am I coming? I'm having a brain fart. Robin will tell me. I can't remember his name, but it's I've got his envelope in there. Anyways, he's a serial killer, and he wrote me. She'll let me know what case it is.
Oh wow,
and
really?
I want to do Bob Long, Robert Long. He's here in Florida. Colehep, yeah, Todd Colehep. Yeah, he wrote me back. He's a serial killer from South Carolina.
So tell me about that. I mean, like, what was your correspondence? You wrote him initially.
Yeah, he's like the Amazon review killer. Apparently, he's been killing people for some time. He did this motor like for years ago. Well, let's start from the beginning. At 15, he was arrested for assaulting a young girl, his neighbor, with a gun. So he ended up going to jail for many years for that and got out like 2002, 2003. And as soon as he was out, he went out and he lied on applications.
How old was he at that point when he got out? Do you know?
Oh, I can't even remember now.
Or like what age range was he?
I want to say in his 20s.
Okay.
In his 20s, maybe 30s. I can't remember, but not too old. And then he goes and buys this motorcycle, and he doesn't know how to ride. And I guess apparently he has a problem with people laughing at him. And somebody cut a joke about, well, we didn't know you didn't know how to ride or something like that. Well, he went in there and slaughtered all 4 of them. And it was a cold case
God.
until 2016 when he finally admitted to killing them. But they found him with a woman chained on his property in a metal bin on his property, a storage container. And her boyfriend, she was supposed to clean his house because she cleaned a lot of houses for him for real estate. And she was over there, and apparently he didn't like the guy. He walks into his house, grabs a gun, and shoots him right in his head.
Oh my God.
And keeps her chained up for months until she's finally found. And apparently he tried to play it off on this person's phone, and people knew it wasn't the person writing. So they tipped off the police. So the police, it's just one of these wild stories. But we went searching because he said there was 2 more of his victims that have never been found. And so we went out searching for his other victims. And I wrote him, and I'm like, well, I was over in this area. And he's like, oh yeah, I've been there many times. And I'm like, I just had chills on my body. I'm like, ooh. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was neat.
So you got a letter back from him.
Yeah, he wrote me back. And he wrote me back months ago, and I was meaning to write him back, and I haven't. So now I've got to try to write him back and say, hey, I'm so sorry, I got sidetracked, But
yeah, please don't kill me.
Huh?
Please don't kill me. I'll write you back.
I know, right? Like, he's got my address. I hope he doesn't escape prison.
Oh, I know, right? You're in trouble.
I'm moving.
No, you'll take care of business. I feel pretty sure about that. But so tell me about the John Benet Ramsey case. I mean, what's your take on that?
Well, for many years, and I blame it on, now that I do this true crime stuff and I actually look into cases now as opposed to just listening to what the news has to say. I'm really kind of disappointed that the Boulder police had misled the country for so long. And then now that I'm looking at it, I see how much they botched the crime or botched the investigation. They, focused so heavily on the parents that they didn't look at other options. And then we had Lou that came in and basically broke into that house undetected very quickly, and it just.
Now back up for a second. Who are you talking about broke into the house so quickly?
It was another investigator that was looking at the case. His name was Lou something. And
okay.
He showed us how people could break in that house undetected. And it was right to that very window that suitcase was next to. That was
right.
And he went right to it and lickety split, no alarms, nobody even knew he was there. And they never told the public that. They tried to make Lou a laughing stock. And now that it's 25 years later, I believe that he was onto something, and law enforcement didn't want to deal with, acknowledge it. And then the other thing that really upset me is the fact that here we are a quarter century later, and not all the DNA has been tested in that case. It's one of the most prolific child homicide cases we've ever heard in our time. And you have untested evidence. That to me is insane. If that doesn't show, how horrible law enforcement dropped the ball in this case, I don't know what does.
So I heard that the DNA had been tested and that it was a mixed DNA.
It's possible, but they're saying that there's DNA, that there's evidence there of I don't know if it's fluid or some kind of biological evidence.
Because she was obviously raped, right?
No, I don't think they said that there might be evidence of assault there, but that's always been sketchy. They did find, they did say they had some sort of seminal discharge, but I don't know if that was on her clothing. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I'd heard it was mixed DNA and it didn't belong to the family, but there's multiple, like at least 2, DNA samples there. Yeah. But here's what I was kind of confused about with it, and maybe you can clear me up on this. The handwriting analysis on the ransom note.
That I looked at that note. I never looked at that note before. It was crazy. I really didn't. And I looked at that note and I saw some things that I didn't see before. And that was primarily the nervousness of the person writing that note. I never believed, I don't believe, well, years ago when I was younger, I was 17 when this case came out. I thought the parents were responsible. But now that I looked at that note, that hand was shaking so bad when that note was written. So it was either somebody that was very nervous writing that letter or an older person. That's just my opinion.
So did you look at the handwriting analysis on it?
No, I haven't looked at the actual analysis, no.
They actually are saying that it's very, very, I mean, I've looked at the handwriting analysis. Mm-hmm. It's just amazing what they've shown with Patsy. Mm-hmm. Possibly being the one who wrote the letter.
Yeah. And they said that for years, but she was actually cleared in 2010.
Yeah.
By law enforcement. But the bad part about that was that was after she had passed away. She was cleared of the crime after she died.
After she died. Yeah. So did you listen to the 911 call on that?
I did years ago, but I haven't not recently.
Yeah. It's just, I've always wondered, you know, it kind of went cold, and I'm thinking that
bad because I really want to know who's responsible for that. Because if it was the parents, you know, they law enforcement came out and cleared the parents.
Well, I don't think the parents did it, mm-hmm. but it makes me wonder if the parents know something about mm-hmm. it. That's all. I mean, it's like a guilty knowledge type thing, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. They seemed well-to-do. It seems like, you know, not that the well-to-do people don't do crazy things because we're dealing with Alex Murdaugh, but
right, exactly.
You know, but I feel so bad because, you know, they lost their child and they were completely financially, emotionally, mentally devastated by all of this. And then law enforcement dragging their ass to clear them and clears them decades later. It's just a travesty all the way around.
Yeah.
But I do hope it does get solved. But I really think Boulder, Colorado needs to quit obstructing their own investigation and turn that evidence over to a lab to have it processed.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah. There's no good reason why a cold case should not have every stitch of evidence tested, not just once, but multiple times.
So what else are you looking at right now? I mean...
Nothing really coming up. I mean, I've got some stuff in the, you know, just videos, not really lives to discuss for just open discussion or anything. But, you know, we had a 176 person prostitution bust here in Florida. And so I'm going to I'm going to be developing that story. It was a reverse prostitution sting. So the men got busted. But, you know, one of the men had just got married. Like he was on his honeymoon in Tampa.
Oh no!
And you know, so this story is
on his honeymoon.
Yes, and I'm just like, what? Like I would be I don't know. I'm just.
Oh my god!
Like on a honeymoon. Let me just tell you, folks. If you want to go diddly, do what you got to do, whatever. But honeymoon. If it's like that, you probably shouldn't even walk down the aisle. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been married to begin with, right? Oh my God, 176 people.
Can you imagine that though? Going on your honeymoon and coming back and getting a divorce.
Oh, you'd get a divorce, all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's kind of developing, but that's kind of like that's not really any of the work I do. It's just kind of just a topic that I thought was interesting that I'm probably going to develop later today and do a video on.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Isn't it? So just little odds and ends, you know, I just pick and choose. And I liked, you know, it's just like Summer Wells, you know, we were so diehard Summer Wells, and we still are, but, you know, we built this huge Summer Wells army that can really benefit other missing people. So I'm really trying to hone in on, you know, what we started with, you know, Summer Wells, and just trying to help as many as we can. And I'm actually working on right now getting funds to go out to Idaho for the Michael Vaughn case.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that case, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no. So this young little boy disappeared. I want to say July 27th, 2021, shortly after Summer Wells did, but he disappeared from Fruitland, Idaho. And he was being watched at the time by his father. Apparently, his father was watching him and his little sister. He went to change the baby's diaper, smoke a cigarette, order some pizza, turns around, son's gone, hasn't been seen from since. It's my understanding that he may, I don't know if it was because of emotional stuff, but that he did not pass his first polygraph test. Law enforcement recently, they've searched that place. They've been screaming that he was most likely abducted. 114 days later, law enforcement comes out and said there's a possibility of an abduction for Michael Vaughn. So people were kind of scrutinizing the parents, plus looking at the possibility of an abduction. It is outside of that community of houses. It really is open farmland. Literally, their community is like is the only community, and everything else is like open farmland. And so, there's a lot of places that he could have gone. Apparently Michael's not, he's gotten out of the house before, but nothing's ever happened to him. His father's been able to find him, whatever. So I really don't know what to think. But I'm just putting my thoughts aside to go out there and help, post flyers, and just get a lay of the land and see if he could be abducted, how would that abduction taken place? And then start looking down that avenue and start looking if he could go this way with a child, then we need to start looking in this direction. So I'm just looking.
How old is the child?
He was, I believe, 4 or 5 at the time. He's already had a birthday, so he's 5 or 6 at the moment. I might have the information here. I've got one of my folders literally everywhere, but I can't remember because we do so many cases. It's hard to remember the specifics, but I got them. Yeah, I got the right folder here. So let's see here. Maybe I don't. Okay, the information's in another notebook because I've been trying to get the information. And this is what does have me a little concerned though, is when I did a registered offender search out there, there were more than I'd like in that saturated area. So there were quite a few. There was a small amount specifically in his community, but in a 5 to 10 mile range, there was more than I feel comfortable with.
And that was where?
In Fruitland, Idaho.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know, the father was home by himself. There were some things that, in my mind that don't make sense, but I try to find out, is there something that can explain it, and I'm trying to, I just don't, they seem like they're doing more than say like the parents of Summer Wells, but you're a little skeptical when it comes to these kids because the work that we do, it's just, parents can do some horrible things, but so can other people. And, we always have to remember that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy business we're doing.
But he's a cute boy. He looked like he was happy, and full of life, full of energy. And it's just, I don't know, sad.
It's always sad. Sure.
Yeah.
So did you watch Dr. Phil when he interviewed Candace and Don?
Extensively. That was one of the first reasons, because we weren't going to get involved in the Summer Wells case. Many people had reached out to us, but we get sponsorships typically when we go on these trips. And our TikTok family were concerned about our well-being, being in the backwoods of Tennessee and the hollers and
yeah, right,
like that. So they weren't going to do it, but we ended up going out there anyways. And part of the research that we did was watching Dr. Phil. And when I started seeing Candace's reaction and her not wanting to be interrogated, I'm thinking, you're missing your baby girl. Who gives a damn? And that was the first indicator that didn't seem like proper behavior of a parent.
Yeah. Yeah, I was amazed by these interrogators. I mean, they'd been working with military and everything, and they figured this stuff out. Now, you say that Cliff Evans is a nice guy. I think he's a nice guy, but he got really pissed off at me when I asked him about his interrogation skills. I was very nice about it. I wasn't rude about it, but I did ask him about his interrogation skills. And I asked him if he watched that interview, and he said, yes, I did. And then he was like, I'm not answering any more of your questions. I don't know. Maybe it goes back to a pride thing, like you were saying before, but yeah, he got pretty upset about that and basically hung up on me. I mean,
it just seems to me like they just don't want to acknowledge that this is
above their head.
They can handle, even this, like they were so worried about misinformation that people were saying on YouTube. And I'm like, well, then get off YouTube and follow leads. Like, why are you concerned about people speculating on a case? Who cares?
Yeah, it was. I actually tried calling John. What's his name? The lead detective.
John Pruitt.
Yeah, and tried calling him, and then all of a sudden I get a phone call back from Cliff Evans, and yeah, he was really a nice guy, but he got kind of upset and, hey Johnny, hey, hey, listen, bud, that was his words. I'm not going to answer any more of your questions. But no, I mean, I understand, they take that stuff personal, but I wasn't trying to be rude with him or anything. I was just
at this point, I'm going to probably start getting rude with them because, Smiley Story World, and I still got to call her because I want to run with her story too. But
I'm so glad that you brought that up.
Yeah, but them sending her employment applications.
No, I did a video on that too. I mean, it was insane that they did that. I even called JHLW, the TV station there that really covers that stuff, and tried to talk to the news director, and he didn't even want to talk about it.
Oh, no, he won't, because it's Hawkins County. They are just buddy. Whatever Hawkins County Sheriff says, they'll do. I can't trust a news outlet that does that. If you're not willing to go out and talk about the reality, and you're wanting to paint this picture of a organization that's not true, then that goes directly to integrity. And
exactly.
And I have no faith in WJHL. Are they nice people? Do I know some of the reporters there? Of course I do. I spoke to many of them over the last year, covering the Summer Wells case. But still, I mean, that makes me question their ability to be unbiased.
I agree. I mean, I was just blown away by how he it makes me look at the integrity of not only the news stations, but it makes me wonder, because I'm a broadcast journalist, and so why in the world would, if I call and I just ask a question, why would they be so adverse to just talking to me? I mean, we don't even have to get into the details of the case, but Smiley's World, I was just trying to follow up on that letter she got.
Yeah.
And apparently she had sent it to them, to their digital editors, and they just didn't want to talk about it. So I think they're following up on the case, but I don't know how far that's going to go. Have you heard anything about where that's gone as far as Smiley's World goes?
No, I haven't, but I told her, and I'll reiterate that when I speak to her, because I need to get her on the record so I can do a video on it. But she needs to file a complaint. She needs to file a complaint with the state attorney. She needs to file a complaint with the police benevolence. Any place that she can file a complaint, she needs to file a complaint. That was totally and wholly unprofessional.
Yeah, it was very
I mean, even if
unprofessional.
she was telling them that they were the worst POSs in the whole entire world, they're still a professional organization. They are still a government entity, and that was unprofessional behavior.
No, absolutely.
If
Now
that
I did call. I did call and ask how their mail system works,
happened,
and apparently, if a letter is sent to the sheriff, then the chief deputy gets it. And I forget his name right off the top of my head, but the chief deputy gets it. So I think he's probably the one who sent that out.
I have no
I
idea
don't know.
it was John Pruitt. That seems
I
like
have
such
no
a
idea.
John Pruitt move.
It could be, but I mean, I don't know if John Pruitt would even see the sheriff's mail. But
I'm just telling you because he made that comment, whenever he was having such
right,
disdain,
yeah, get an application.
organizations he has to work with. It's like there's a missing child. Who gives a damn how many organizations you have to work with? Like other agencies aren't having these issues. Why are you guys having these issues?
Well, have you looked at their pay?
Yeah, I can't imagine that it's got to be ridiculous. But in all fairness, their cost of living.
It was like $12
Yeah.
for the correctional officers and $15 for the road patrol, and they did get a raise recently, but it's not that much more,
Yeah,
So
trained. They've got to be trained because I'm telling you, they've got constitutional issues in Hawkins County, major constitutional issues from my standpoint, because they're not applying the law equally to all the people there. So Joe Blow can be over here drunk behind a wheel, and they'll get a free pass, but Jane Doe over here has to take the perp walk.
yeah, exactly.
So it's not. They've got problems.
Trained. Yeah. Well, listen, I've loved talking to you. I'm gonna let you do your
Great. I'm so happy. Congratulations on your channel, and I hope it grows. I like your commentary. I do.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I love your show.
Yeah.
You're doing a great show.
I appreciate it.
I will continue to watch as you do this, but thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Come on anytime.
All right.
You're in
Be
the chat and
blessed.
you have something to say, come on up.
All right. I will. Be
All right.
blessed. Okay. All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Late night. Look at that. Never know who's going to drop by. Sorry, guys. I see you guys talking and I couldn't even say hi to you guys. So wanted a big shout out to True Crime with Eve. It's nice to see you in the chat. Who else is in here? I saw Sepsis Kills. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love seeing your name pop up in this chat. I gotta tell you, I really, really do. I was, I don't know. I was, you almost had me in tears when I thought something. Anyways, I don't even want to think about it because I'm starting to get a little teary-eyed now. So just nice, great conversation about several different cases with Johnny B. If you guys haven't checked him out, please do. He's new to YouTube. Really love his commentary. On YouTube, there's a small group of haters out there that just cause problems for all creators in this genre. So, always go over there and show some love and show some support. The people that are doing really good, we need to support as much as we can. So go over to Johnny B Live channel and sub up if you haven't already. Oh, what else here? We got Shirley. It came out Friday on Michael Vaughn's case that a trucking company has decided to put his face and the information on the side of the truck. I think that is an amazing initiative. And I think this is something that hasn't been done. It's definitely out of the box thinking on how to get these people across. One of the things I learned in politics, because we have to be creative, like for politicians, you have the yard signs and stuff like that. Well, there was a study that said that bumper stickers gave the most exposure to the politician. Bumper stickers on the back of cars, because over 250 people see that bumper sticker as opposed to a few people. It's the most cost-effective way of getting somebody's name out there is through bumper stickers. So to put this on the truck, it's as I'm equating to bumper stickers. You have it. So many people, especially cross country truckers, so many people across this country will see it. I hope it just doesn't stop with Michael Vaughn. I hope they start doing this with a lot of the trucks and getting those out and pushed out. I thought it was an amazing initiative, and good job. I like JD JD Huff, the Fruitland police chief. I haven't really dived into it yet. I'm still, I'm not making a determination or a decision on that, because at the end of the day, I do know how law enforcement works. And at the end of the day, I know law enforcement is allowed to lie. And I'm still not willing to put one way or another. I just want to go out there and help. I want to go out there and search, and I want to go out there and get a good understanding as what could have happened. This is not just going out there for one perspective, it's going out there for multiple perspectives. And I believe I've got people that are great, wonderful people that really want to help Michael Vaughn, assisting one beautiful lady in the chat right now. So, anyways, what else do we have going on here? I just subbed. Oh, great, Mike. I like him. He's just cool people. He's chill. He's chill. He's not too, too crazy out there. We got enough crazy. We need some chill. So thank you, Anissa. Always on it. Good late night, early morning. Thank you. I know, right? This was unexpected. This is Bullhorn Betty waking up at 1:00 in the morning and looking at all this work that needs to be done and doing all the work that needed to be done and being done with it and twiddling my thumbs here and being wide awake and saying, well, you know what? Maybe somebody else is wide awake out there in YouTube land too. Never come on this time of morning, but why not? Let's give it a whirl. Where's my phone? There it is. I haven't even been looking at my phone. See who we got. Okay. I just got your message. I'm in chat. It's nice to see you. If you want to come up, the link is in the top. So if you want to come up, come on up. And that goes for anybody else. If you guys want to come up, come up. You're the best researchers because you're not scared. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I try to, and again, we find out during research, I find out stuff that I didn't know, that I wasn't even, in some cases, wasn't even looking for. For example, Jolissa Fuentes, I was just looking for any kind of information that could give me a direction of where, she may have stayed, where she may have lived, like something like a speeding ticket or something like that can help me with my virtual map that I'm doing. Many of you know I've been utilizing Google Earth to help show you guys areas and pinpoint certain stuff on the Google map. And so it's just, I don't know. So anyways, I was searching. I looked up her name and I couldn't find any cases with her name on it, but she was associated with, child support cases. And so I just happened to stumble into that, and I wasn't even looking for it. So sometimes research takes you down paths you weren't even expecting to go down. But, when information comes up, you have to explore it. The police said they stand with family. Do you think police are watching family? I watched the news press conference. It was weird the way she arms were gripped. I don't know. I have to think, because this is a small child, so the FBI is involved, and the FBI has a lot different types of tactics than, say, the local county, city, or state police. So I really don't know how to answer that, but I have to say, yes, I do believe that if they're not fully cleared, and they did not, then I just want to be very clear, I don't know what's gone on in this case, and I don't want to lay blame yet. I've got to do research, and I haven't done that yet. I mean, I've done preliminary stuff, but I haven't gone out there and previewed the area. With that being said, I like that JD Huff came out and said that the parents aren't the focus of the investigation, but he is still short of saying that they have been cleared. And that's the problem I have. And again, it does not mean the parent, I'm just stating facts. I'm not alleging one way or the other. I'm just stating facts. Guys like facts. I have to state them. So I have to say that yes, I do believe that they're under close watch because of the age of their son, because of the length of the time that they have not seen their son. Nobody knows where the son is. They're going through all these possibilities. Will that change? I don't know. I really don't know. But I do have to be honest with you. I reviewed that press conference multiple times, and he clearly states that the parents are not the focus of this investigation, right? Not the focus of this investigation. What does that mean? He didn't say that they were cleared of any wrongdoing. All possibilities are on the table, and so is everybody. Brandy seems very distraught about Michael being gone. I don't know too much about Tyler, because he's not really seen online too much. So, it's kind of hard. But he did state something at one point in time that, that he feels responsible because he was the one that was watching Monkey. And so there is that possibility that, some of the stuff that we're seeing and noticing might just be him blaming himself. I don't know. I got to get out there. I want to, like I said, I want to hang up flyers. I want to check out the area. I want to see how Monkey would have been abducted. I want to take you guys for that journey so we can make heads or tails of what happened and what things go on. I see a lot of turtles up in here. What is going on? Some turtle love. Turtle love. You know what? He did ask me about this, and I did hear this case now that I see her name written. Tatiana Luke. I think I did hear about it, but I have not gotten into it. Severe epilepsy. That's right. Who was running with this? Was it Gray Hughes? Was he the one? Somebody was running with this story. And when he said something about it, I don't know. And yes, Paul Miranda Rosa is still missing. We still don't have any information from her. I still need to get with her cousin and the other gal. I think her name was Rosa or Rose, and bring them on panel. Rosa is about. She's a ST survivor. That has written books about her experience. And I just really would like, her story is very impactful and very empowering. So as soon as I can reach out to them, which I haven't even attempted to because I've been so busy, but I will try to do that sometime today to solidify a date and time when we'll be hearing from Paula's cousin, Cecilia, as well as Rosa on the Rose. I can't remember what her name is. I apologize. I don't have the paper in front of me. It's in the office. So at any rate. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I heard that. And she has violent epileptic seizures. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. It's about 5 hours from me. Just because law enforcement can't prove something happened doesn't mean it didn't happen. Exactly. That's why I said if they can't find Summer Wells, this is going to be a case in absentia. I think law enforcement this day and age has more tools to be utilized to help convict cases with body in absentia, which basically means there's no body. And so I think that we see more cases being more successful this day and age as opposed to once upon a time, because we have a lot of forensic stuff that can help us, such as the phones. I didn't even realize, even like your Fitbits and your Apple Watches, dude, we're tracked. Like we are being tracked. Like Big Brother is everywhere. Ooh, right? Like what? Big Brother. So I was actually reading an article where a gentleman was actually convicted of killing his wife because of his Fitbit. They could literally pinpoint his location because of his Fitbit. So it's like, we are being tracked, folks. So I think this day and age is a lot easier to do a case like that as opposed to like 20 or 30 years ago. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing some of those missing person cases of children from 20, 30 years ago finally making it to the court system where they have made arrests in those cases. Which is odd because we're always told that these cases, the older they get, the harder they are to prosecute. But we still hear about people being prosecuted 20 and 30 years later on these crimes. And I just don't want that to be Summer Wells' story. I really don't. I hope something breaks in this case. But I think we're all kind of realizing that Hawkins County, the total unprofessional behavior of Hawkins County, they're totally unprofessionals. So if we have an unprofessional agency out there taking care of a case, that doesn't give me the confidence that they're going to do a good job. With these parents, I think it would be a step in the right direction if they actually prosecuted the parents for the child crimes. If they prosecuted the parents for the child neglect, child welfare crimes, that would be a step in the right direction for many people on YouTube, right? Because those kids have suffered. Let's think about this. So the parents of Summer Wells, Don Wells and Candace Bly, have had multiple children. I think between the two of them, we're talking about a total of 10 children or more. They have lost custody of every single one of those kids. They have never been held accountable in a court of law for the treatment of their children, ever, in any of the states. Candace is the only one that came close when she was put into a mental ward after pointing a shotgun at a social worker. That is totally unacceptable in my book. Totally unacceptable. Did I miss anything else? You guys, if you guys ask questions up above and I didn't get to them, you might want to throw them back into the chat box because I'm looking at the chat now. Also, I don't trust Sammy and Kylie's case. I have watched her interviews. Yeah, I don't trust her either, but I think I can explain why she did what she did. Not well, but I kind of understand it a little bit. But I am watching that case because, like, I was talking to Johnny B. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm just happy you're writing. Hey, crazy nurse. Good morning. Everybody's starting to pop up. Well, I have to be honest with you guys because, whenever I have nights like this, it's crazy because I don't know. There's always somebody on late night that I'll pop into. Most of the time it's Dolly because he's really the only person that's late night that talks about true crime that I've been able to find outside of like Ziggy or, every now and again you'll see somebody like that pop up in the middle of the night or Justice for All, and maybe I'll go into their chat room. But, like I was looking when I woke up and I'm like, screw it. I'll just go live. So if you guys see Dolly get up and want to go live, let me know. We'll all go over to his channel. Yeah. Crazy, isn't it? I heard Michael's mom on Twitter Spaces change her story of events the day he disappeared several times. Yes. I'm aware of that. Absolutely. I'm aware of, and I'm also aware of that the statements have changed. I'll for all intents and purposes, slightly related to Tyler's timeline, related to the diaper change, the cigarettes, and the pizza. But again, like I said, I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole so much. I'd really like to reserve the conversation on, because I'm so close to going out there, and I really like to reserve some of my comments and stuff like that until after I go and look, because like I said, I'm very curious how the abduction would take place. We've seen some dirt roads out there, and I just want to see where those dirt roads lead. it's just I'm trying, looking at the maps and stuff, trying to visualize everything there, and I just can't. I can't seem to visualize the stuff that I need to visualize. So I think it'll be better once I get down there. I'll be able to do my fact finding and just due diligence and post up some flyers, and it'll be nice. It'll be nice. And it'll be good for me getting out and doing what I love to do. So I think it'll be a win-win for everybody. More importantly, any help in the right direction is a help for Michael Vaughn. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. I know. I'm not up still. I woke up. I went to bed so stinking early last night that at 1 o'clock this morning, I was wide awake, literally wide awake. And then the night before, I could hardly sleep. My back's been bothering me, so I was tossing and turning, and I ended up getting up at midnight last night, staying up until about 3. I fell asleep from 3 to 5, and I was up from 5 all day until 7 o'clock when I was out. I don't know, because I'm hearing through the grapevine that, and I actually heard this, and I haven't spoke about it, but I heard Candace is getting distance between her and Dawn so she can make try to get the boys back. Now, mind you, out of all the kids she's had taken out of her custody, not one time has she actually made an effort to try to get her kids back. Now, this could all be just rumor, but with her leaving the Hill and her shutting down her YouTube and us not seeing her for months, it makes you wonder what she's doing. Is she trying to clean up her life? I hope she cleans up her life, right? I hope she cleans up her life. I don't think she deserves those boys back, no matter what she does. But I hope she cleans up her life for herself so she can still have a relationship with her kids. She's got a lot of children out here that are suffering because of her and Dawn's conduct. And then prior to her and Dawn's conduct, it was her and Andrew's conduct. So, it's a sad case. I feel for the children. I hope Candace never has any more kids. I really hope she never has any more kids, because she destroys children's lives. She is not a good mom. She's not a good mom. But I do believe a lot of that comes because of the alcohol and substances. I really do. Mods, can you post the membership for the iPhones for Kayla, please? Candace should not have custody of a plant. I know, right? I agree with that 100%. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry you have to go back for replay, but I pray that these boys never get custody. Yeah, I know. I hope not too. I know. It's like they can't even take care of animals. And if you can't take care of an animal, how are you going to take care of a human being, let alone 4 of them? Just doesn't make sense. Oh, thank you, Kayla. Thank you, love bug. You know what? I gave you guys a promise. I gave you guys a promise a long time ago. I said, if she gets those kids back, I will be in Tennessee protesting. I plan on doing just that. If she gets those boys back and no charges for the crimes that they've done. Oh, I hate when that happens. I did that too. I had insurance, and I got a notice that they were going to discontinue my insurance. I'm like, what? Like, I have you on auto pay. And they're like, oh, it looks like your card expired. I'm like, okay, why didn't somebody just pick up the phone and call me? I don't know what's going on in this world with there's no customer service. If you've got entirely too many customers and you can't even pick up a phone and have the bare minimal customer service, you probably shouldn't be in business. But hey, who am I, right? They're making the millions to my hundreds. Hey, Stony Stone, what's shaking, bacon? Good morning. Can't believe it's already 5 o'clock. Can't believe it's already 5 o'clock. It just seems crazy to me. But you missed it, Stony Stone. I had a nice conversation. Johnny B surprised us with his presence on the live this morning. I don't know why I put that up there. Sorry about that, Kayla. And not only that, I was looking at something else and I just left it up there. Yeah, if you guys want to come up. Oh, Melody's only 3 a.m. there. Yeah, it's 5 here. So if you guys want to come up. Oh, thank you, Love Bug. I appreciate it. Thank you. So you must be in California. Out of here. See what's. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mary Rosemary. It's nice. Very, very nice. How you doing, Stony Stone? Stony Stone's being Stony Stone. What do you mean, how's he doing? He's Stony Stone. He's Stony Stone. Oh my goodness. So what are we going to talk about? I didn't have an agenda. That's why I'm in the room. I mean, if I had an agenda or, a whole story to tell you, I've got everything for our coffee club later this morning, which I'm probably going to do, I don't know, around 8:30. Do you think? No, I really, in the heart of hearts, I really don't believe that he had anything to do with it. Oh, good morning. You're finally awake. I've been up for like forever. But to answer your question, Tenzi, I really don't believe, I think he was in Kingsport. I don't think he was anywhere in and around the property or the house at the time that this occurred, and why I believe he's not even really a person of interest in this case. But again, we don't know because of the level of, but it sounded to me like he had photos and photography and stuff as opposed to actual victims and production of those photos. And that's a bit different. So, Dolly, are you going live this morning? If you are, I'll pop off of your, so you can go live. I've just been up since 1 o'clock this morning. So I had nothing to do. So I decided just to go live. Crazy nurse, what is? Oh, you're welcome, Tenzi. Yeah, in an hour or so. Okay. So everybody, he's going to be going live in an hour or so, and so we'll just sit here and I'll just sit here and chat. And whenever I see your thing come up, I'll power down because I really wasn't planning on going live until I don't know, later this morning. So. All right. So what does Stony Stone have to say? Crazy nurse, I don't have nothing to say. I beg to differ, Stony, because every time you're on the phone with me, I can't get you off. I know. I'm up to trouble. That's what I'm up to. Straight trouble. Why are you sitting here? Come on up, Melody. If you want to come up, come up. I'll you don't have to worry about it. You've called on the phone before. I'll take you. I won't even put your face up. Just come on up. I'll just put my face up and they can just hear you. Can't get you to shut up. No, I'm just joking. Shoot. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, I don't know. I'm tired. I'm getting there, but I'm wide awake now that I got like a half a pot of coffee in me. Ready to rock it out today. Saturday. Who needs a weekend? Every day's a weekend for me. Oh boy. What else did we have? I have a whole bunch of stuff that I was going to be talking about. Let me see if I can pull some stuff up here real quick. And no, that's not it. Oh, we talked about the guy, the douchebag that got married, and he was part of the sting, the 176 person sting. Lots of stuff going on here. Pastors being killed. I mean, there's a lot of crap going on here. But I think the one that pulled my attention is like, I almost want to reach out to this poor lady and tell her, whenever you get back home from your honeymoon, file for divorce and run the opposite direction. Wherever that man that you called a husband for, 24 hours, go in the opposite direction of him. There's more people missing as we've been watching. Yeah, I know. And I heard that they cleared. Now, did they clear? You've been watching this, and just fill me in on this, Stony Stone. Did they clear Pine Flat Lake? I know they cleared Avocado Lake, but Pine Flat Lake is like, I don't know, about 20 of the lakes. I'd love to be able to drink some coffee, but my heart, don't worry. I got you covered. I got you covered. I promise you I got you covered. I drank enough coffee for everybody in this chat room. Actually, as a matter of fact, my coffee fund is low, and so is my cuss jar. So I need to say more cuss words. They cleared both of them. Okay. Did they have any idea of where they're going next? Are they, because I heard that they were going to be out there 3 days, and I believe they've only been out there 2 days. Do they have other places that they were going to look? Woo, that's a lot. I drink about 2 to 3 pots of coffee a day. I'm surprised my teeth aren't like brown. All right, Melody, I'm pulling you up. Hold on a second. Oh, no, I'm trying to get you off. There you go. Sorry. Hey!
Hi.
So what do you think about all this stuff?
Which stuff? The whole crime?
The stuff we're talking about, yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah.
And partially, I think a lot of it has to do with CPS.
I think a lot of this has to do with not only that, but law enforcement. Like if in Summerwell's case, the law enforcement, they should have reported. They should have sent a referral over to Child Protective Services when they were fighting on that property in 2019, and when they were fighting in that property in 2020. That place was a wreck then. It hasn't changed.
Yeah.
So what's been going on with you? I haven't talked to you in a little while.
I had court to do with 2 things because I was SA'd. And another, my autistic son was SA'd.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And they were by family members. But the one that was supposed to go to jail died last year, August 15th. I don't feel I got justice.
Yeah, I was assaulted in my 20s, and they never found out who it was. And the lead detective promised me he was going to be on the case, until it was solved. And then he got attacked. He was out in the water and got attacked by a gator. And no other detective ever reached out to me. And it's a part of my life that I'd rather forget about. So I've never really followed up on it, but my case is never resolved.
Well, even when I was 7, I was molested by an uncle. But it's still in the back of my mind when it started happening by my own father years down the road, even though he stuck up for me. So, even my uncle got away with it too. And hearing about
how common, things like that were. I was assaulted. I don't know how to say this, but something happened to me when I was a child. It happened to me once, and I forgot all about it until, my 20s when I was assaulted, and then some stuff came back to me that happened as a child, and it was with my grandfather. But I only recall it happening once, and it was more of a touch than anything really, but it's still, you know, you look back on that, like my grandfather was dead and I was he was like my best friend. And it's just sad to think that, you know, he did that. And it's upsetting.
Well, I never really got to know my birth mother because, to tell you the honest truth, my birth mother and my father are pretty much like Candace Wells and Don Wells.
Gotcha.
And we're everywhere.
Now, if you've lived this kind of situation in the past, what do you think the problem is in this particular case?
CPS.
Like, why aren't they charging the parents? Do you have any opinion on why they haven't charged Don or Candace?
Well, if there was one parent or like one parent that was, you know, thinking straight, but when you've got two, it's hard. But I had a babysitter who was 15 and she took 5 kids in.
Wow.
While they got their kids taken from them. And she raised them by herself. And then my father came along trying to fight for his kids. And for some reason, they were going to let him have them. And then she tried to say she was in love with him because she didn't want to lose us. And so he ended up taking advantage of her. She got pregnant. She stayed anyway because she didn't want to lose us again. And then he got her pregnant again. And then that molestation happened when she went to go and get groceries and trusted him to be alone with us. And he let some drunks in. And one of them got a hold of me.
Gotcha.
And my mom had that gut instinct feeling there was something wrong. So she turned around and she lost it on my father, and she went upstairs and she heard my sister crying because he had turned the bathroom light off on her, which was her night light. And she seen my door open and me starting to screech.
Yeah.
And what pissed my mom off the most is when the cops were talking to her, they go and ask her if I was wearing any underwear. What does that matter?
Right. That was an odd question to ask.
Yeah, my mom was angry.
I bet.
She's like, it doesn't matter whether she was wearing underwear or not. Her door was shut. And he shouldn't be going into her room in the first place.
Right.
And his excuse was saying, oh, I didn't know where the bathroom was. How?
Right.
When the bathroom light was turned off.
Yeah, that is odd. That is very odd. And not only that, but it's horrific. And parents, you know, it's just sad. So, but your mom came to your defense. Like, she didn't think you were lying.
Well, not my biological mother. To me, she's my mom now because I was 2 months old. 2 months old when we were taken from her care, my biological mother's care. She lost other kids on top of that. There's at least, I think I have like cheaper by the dozen in my family.
So you really do have a similar story to Summer Wells.
I do. I really do. And
you had people that obviously helped you, you know, saved you. You were, you know, you didn't have to live in that environment. They were living in that environment. And actually, it scares me even more that they know how these parents are and are willing to even entertain giving these children back. That just, it turns my stomach.
What scares me the most is if that babysitter wasn't around, then what?
Right.
And me and my brothers and my sisters found each other on Facebook when it first came out.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I found a lot of lost friends that I hadn't seen when Facebook was really a good platform. It's kind of taken it on its own life and meaning. So, you know.
And then with my father, when my mom kicked him out, I was 7 years old. When Facebook came out, he found me on there too, because I was the only one with a unique name.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted me and my brother to go to their place for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really want to go, but I wanted to protect my little brother's back. I went over there. They asked my brother to take the two new brothers he has with his new wife,
Mm-hmm.
take them out to the mall. And they said they wanted me to talk to some guy in their room. And then all of a sudden, I got all stiff. I felt legs, like my legs getting grabbed.
Mm-hmm.
My arm got grabbed too. So I'm like, there's more than one person holding me. I went to flick on, you know, that clap on?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did that. My dad's wife stood up really quick. And then my dad quickly rolled over.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, I am so sorry to hear all that had happened to you. But listen, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go because I've got to power this live down, and my coffee's starting to hit, so I got to use the potty.
I get that a lot.
I know I drink entirely too much coffee, and I came on here and I've been drinking coffee.
My dog hears a voice, so he just wants to say hi.
Well, hi, sweetie. Hold on, stay right there. I'm gonna put him on panel. Well, hi, sweetie. Hi. Aren't you just adorable? Oh, spoiled. I can see spoiled written all over.
Oh, him. His name's Lucky.
Lucky. Oh, I like that. You know, our friend Tammy that came out to Summerwell's vigil, she came from Illinois. She ended up getting Lucky, Summerwell's dog. She got two of the last two Wells dogs. And they are so beautiful. The last photo I got of them, they're in little sweater. They were, they're being loved.
Oh yeah. With him, when they were talking about Summerwell's dog, his ears would go up because he thinks that he's hearing Lucky, or instead of Yucky.
So, all right, Melody. Well, it's nice chatting with you as always, and you have a wonderful day and happy Saturday.
Yeah. Hopefully it's it's hot anyways, but might go to the river with my son.
Oh, that sounds nice. I need to get my butt to the gym. I've been paying for this gym for months, and I think I've only gone to the gym here like twice, and I'm like, I need to get back to the gym.
Oh, I don't need to. I eat all fat foods, and I'm all like skin and bones.
Yeah, well, I don't have that problem, so I need the gym.
They said I have a high metabolism, so I was like,
well, if you ever want to exchange metabolisms, I'm happy to take yours for mine.
Just put a tube into you and then stick it into me and then just fork it over.
There you go. I got plenty of fat to share, so if you want.
Wow, I could use an ass. I could use an ass too because
I like my butt. You ain't getting my butt.
Oh damn.
There's a couple
have
things
to sit on.
I really like, and there's just my upper and my bottom. Nah, I'm keeping them.
Oh, my chi-chis are not that bad, but my ass, there's no ass. But my kids took most of it.
I just want a new torso. I want a new torso with some rock abs. That's what I want.
I could get abs if I just dance. If I just dance one leg for a week straight, I'll have a 4-pack, if that.
Yeah. Not me. I got my bulletproof vest on. This is like, oh my gosh, our conversation. just give me the abs. That's all I care about. Just give me the abs. I'll keep everything else I got. All right, love. I'm gonna let you go.
All
right, love. Bye-bye. So anyways, guys, yeah, we're having a good time. So you guys, it looks like Dolly will probably be on live in about an hour. I'm going to go ahead and sign off of here. I'll be back on here whenever Dolly's live is over. I'll be coming back on here, and we'll be having a discussion. We got a lot of stuff to catch up on. We'll be going over more in detail with Jalissa's case and Kylie's case, but we're also going to be getting updates on Kristen Smart, Alex Murdaugh, Cody Bigsby. We just kind of talked about Michael Vaughn here. You know, I still don't have enough information to really make a decision for me personally on this case yet. And it's so close to us going out there. So at this point, I just want to stay focused on looking into the abduction theory and getting the flyers and stuff like that up. So I actually, one of our people in here sent me, I now have a Michael Vaughn band, which is nice. I got a little pen, and she prepared beautiful flyers to post up as well on beautiful, good quality paper. So very thankful for that. I did receive that, and just really excited about this trip, and hopefully just get some answers that maybe we didn't have prior to. So we still want to keep the family and friends of Michael Vaughn in our prayers. And, they're still struggling, as many of you guys know. So with that, we'll see you guys later. I'll be back on later today. Thank you guys for hanging out with me while I had an insomnia moment. And nobody was online to occupy my time. So I decided to come online and occupy yours. Anyways, guys, take care. We'll see you soon. Don't forget, Coffee Club later today. Just be patient and we will be live. Don't forget to be fearless, folks.
Who need to hear this? But let me put this out here. Stop sparing folks. Hello, somebody. Stop sparing folks. Nobody cared when your feelings was hurt. Nobody cared when you was pacing the floor. Nobody cared when you was sliding down the wall. Nobody cared when you was standing over there with a face full of tears. You had to suck it up, buttercup. But then when it come to other folk feelings, here you are. Want to tiptoe around it. Want to avoid the elephant in the room. I don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to disturb the peace. Stop sparing folk. Ain't nobody spare you when it was your turn. Give it to them real. Give it to them raw. Give it to them uncut and uncensored. This is exactly what it is. This way you had me messed up at. Yeah. I ain't playing with nobody this season, baby.
Baby, let me tell you something. I'm not clearing nothing up. Feel how you want to feel about me and stand on it. Period.
Andrea, aka Bullhorn Betty here. Look what I found. It looks like a lot of people on YouTube. Right here. Right here. This is a real ass right here. Like many people on YouTube. All you need to do is show an asshole a little love. Right? Right? Tell him. What you need to do? What you need to do? Huh? What you need to do? Oh, too many assholes on YouTube. Say it. Say it with me, baby. Say there's just too many people. Too many people on YouTube that look like you, huh? So the next time you want to be an ass, maybe you should come out here and hang out with the ass. Just saying. You want to be a jackass? There's your brother.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.